Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome this Monday, February the 16th, to Soldiers for the Cross. You are with Randy here at Vet's Corner, and thank you for tuning in with us again today. Hope you had a very blessed and restful weekend, if possible. And today we are getting into the book of Numbers again, and we are moving over into chapter 3. And if you remember in chapter 2, we were going through and reading where God had commanded Moses to do a census on all the Israelites. And chapter 3, there is a census done on the Levites, the tribe of Levi. So we're going to get into what God's doing here and the why. And it's going to be, I think, pretty interesting as we get into it. Um, I want to show you first off, see if I can find it here. Like I said, if you remember, this was the breakdown of the original count. This is, of course, a different photo, and I chose this one to highlight the tribe of the Levites. But as we see, uh, we've got the camp of Dan, the camp of Judah, the camp of Reuben, and the camp of Ephraim. Now, what we're doing today is we're getting into the yellow section, the tribe of Levi. Uh, we have the Gershonites to the west, the Merarites to the north, and then we have the Kohathites to the south. And then, of course, we have Aaron, Moses, and the priests facing east. So we're going to first start out in Numbers. Again, this is a long chapter, so we're not going to read the entire chapter. But I do want to get into some of the main points of it here, and then we're going to go into the breakdown on this. Starting in chapter 3, verse 1, these are the generations of Aaron and Moses at the time when the Lord spoke with Moses on Mount Sinai. These are the names of the sons of Aaron, Nadab, the firstborn, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. These are the names of sons of Aaron, the anointed priest who he ordained to serve as priest. But Nadab and Abihu died before the Lord when they offered unauthorized fire before the Lord in the wilderness of Sinai. And they had no children, so Eleazar and Ithamar served as priests in the lifetime of Aaron their father. Now, the duties of the Levites are here in the following verses. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Bring the tribe of Levi near, and set them before Aaron the priest, that they may minister to him. They shall keep guard over him and over the whole congregation before the tent of meeting, as they minister at the tabernacle. They shall guard all the furnishings of the tent of meeting, and keep guard over the people of Israel as they minister at the tabernacle. And you shall give the Levites to Aaron and his sons. They are wholly given to him from among the people of Israel. And you shall appoint Aaron and his sons, and they shall guard their priesthood. But if any outsider comes near, he shall be put to death. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Behold, I have taken the Levites from among the people of Israel, instead of the every firstborn who opens the womb among the people of Israel. The Levites shall be mine. And for all the firstborn are mine. On the day that I struck down all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, I consecrated for my own all the firstborn in Israel, both of man and beast. And they shall be mine. I am the Lord. Now God is reminding them of the Passover out of Exodus, and he's letting them know, hey, the tribe of Levi is going to play a vital role here in now becoming the representation of the firstborn of all Israel. So we are going to get in here real quick to the breakdown of Numbers chapter 3. Now we're looking at chapter 3 here, and it says, while Numbers chapter 2 gave us a census and breakdown concerning the 12 tribes of Israel, chapter 3 is a breakdown of the Levites and their duties to assist the priest, and also the Levites have now become the substitute for the firstborn males of Israel that were originally instituted by God in Exodus chapters 13, 1 through 2, and then detailed in Exodus 13, verses 11 through 16, as a commencement to the Lord after the Israelite exodus from Egypt. Now I've broken this down. There are 4 main points to Numbers chapter 3. Verses 1 through 4 is Aaron's priesthood. After the judgment of Nadab and Abihu for the offering of unauthorized fire before God, Aaron's other 2 sons, Eleazar and Ithamar, continued the priesthood, as Nadab and Abihu neither had children born to them. And then number 2, the Levites' tabernacle role. This is found in verses 5 through 13. The tribe of Levi are committed to assisting Aaron and the priest with the work of the tabernacle. All the priests were to be Levites, and their responsibilities were to guard the sanctuary and its furnishings. And then we move on. The census and responsibilities of the Levites. The census, this is found in verses 14 through 39. With the 12 tribes that were initially counted, the census was to confirm all males that were of combat age, which was 20 years of age or over. The Levites, however, were counted starting at 1 month of age and older, and divided into 3 clans of the sons of Levi. Now, the next image I'm going to show you is the clan census and responsibilities of the Levites. Now here we see each clan broken down and total males above 1 month old and older. The Gershonites, there were 7,500. The head of the Gershonites was Elisaph. The overseer was Ithamar. Their responsibilities in this particular clan were the tabernacle and tent, including coverings, screen, hangings, and doorway cords. The workforce, 30 to 50 years of age, was about 2,630. Then the second clan, the Kohathites, total males above 1 month of age were 8,600. And the head of this of the Kohathites was Elzaphan. The overseer was Eleazar. The responsibilities were the ark, the table, lampstand, altars, utensils, screen of incense, and related articles as well. The workforce for them, 30 to 50 years of age, was 2,750. Now the third clan, the Meratites, the total males above 1 month of age were 6,200. And the head of this clan was Zuriel. The overseer again was Ithamar. If you notice, all the overseers are Aaron's sons of the priesthood. Now their responsibilities were the frames, the bars, the posts, the pillars, the sockets, and the cords. And their workforce that ranged from ages 30 to 50 years of age were 3,200. And then we have the front tent. This was Moses and Aaron's sons, Ithamar and Eleazar. The head of this tent was Aaron, being the head priest. Their responsibilities served as priests, packed up and unpacked the tabernacle vessels on moving days. Wow. A lot of work. But you see again in Numbers chapter 3, God is a God of order. Everyone has their particular calling. And if this shows us nothing else, in today's modern world of Christianity, everybody wants to be on stage. Everybody wants to be in the spotlight. Everybody wants to have their name out there and be known for something great. And you have to be careful with that, because if you remember, God tells us, you get all the acclamations, the attaboys, the pats on the back, then you pretty much received your reward, because you've stored nothing up in heaven. But you see here, there's more to the body of Christ in serving than just being at the front. There's more to do in the body of Christ than just having your name out there. There are people in this world that have passed on, and with the exception of close family members, no one will ever know their name. But God does. Remember, God called people by name. And from the least to the highest, we all serve as functioning parts of the body of Christ. So kind of keep that in mind, when you see somebody and you're like, man, I can't wait till I get into ministry like that, and I want to do this and I want to do that. Hey, being the behind the scenes person, doesn't matter if you're working the board at the church, if you're running the cameras, if you're cleaning the church, if you're stocking the restrooms, if you're preparing the meals, if you're visiting the shut-ins, the sick, the elderly, on your own behalf, and your name is never mentioned. Your name is always before God. Always keep that in mind. Okay, we're going to get into the fourth point. The substitutes of the firstborn, which is covered in verses 40 through 51. With the second census count of the Levites, God commanded that the Levites are now his, as a new declaration over the original claim of all firstborn during the Passover in Egypt. At the time of the second census, though, there were 273 more firstborn Israelites than Levites. This is of the firstborn males. To offset the extra, God placed a redemption price of 5 shekels per person to be paid and collected and given to Aaron and the priests. So this was create the Israelite outside the Levite tribe had a surplus of 273 more firstborn males than the Levites. And then the 5 shekels per person was an offset, and it going directly to the priest, then we know that any financial assertion of this money was to go for the Israelite people and the glorification of God. This would be spent as God commanded to spend it. And that brings me to a next little point. I said whether your name's known in proclamation of what you did in the church, or if everybody knows your name, or if nobody knows your name. The number one thing that you want to be aware of is that God knows your name. God knows who you are. And not in the sense of what you did, but you're passionate about doing it, and doing it to glorify Him, to draw others closer to Him. And in every church, nationwide, people tithe, weekly, monthly, some semi-annually, some annually. And the tithes may range from $1 to $1,000. You may have gifts 10,000 or higher. That's not up to the person given the message on tithing. That's up to the tither and what God lays on their heart. I will tell you this. Do not get frustrated when you see people with, and in this sense, I'm speaking of servants, whether it be pastors, evangelists, different people serving in the church, and you see them with the hordes of multitude of material things. Don't let that bother you. You see all the time people are doing these dossiers and these things online and on television about these big television evangelists living high on the hog. They got their jets, their mega churches, their mansions, some of them 3 or 4 mansions. Don't let that bother you. Nobody, I mean nobody, whether they are a servant of the Lord, called to serve, if they're a politician, whoever it is, don't be envious of this. Because there's one thing that no one in this world will ever escape. It's inescapable. And that is standing before God in accountability as to what they did, how they did it, how they overseen what He, the Lord, gave to them. Just as the Levites are the overseers, each clan oversaw a different part of the tabernacle. Now, being in the encampment, probably everybody knew what clan done what. And, they walk in, man, the curtains are always nice, beautiful. The boards are always clean, swept. The brass, the gold's always polished and clean. They probably did observe that. But to put a name to each person, to each obligation that was done, was probably never done. So don't worry about getting your kudos here. Don't worry about getting your acclamations, your attaboys, your pats on the back here. Because for some, it may happen every day. And like I said, there's been many leave this world and we never know their name, what they did for the Lord. But we will know when we get there. God will make it abundantly clear. And the ones that abused what He gave them, He's going to make it abundantly clear to them as well. So take what the Lord has given you. Paul says, learn to be content. I've learned to be content in all things. Be content. Be that servant that knows what God brought you out of, what He brought you from, and where He has placed you at this point in time in your life. All right? So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Randy with Soldiers for the Cross here at Vets Corner, and this has been Numbers chapter 3. And if the Lord gives us tomorrow, we will be back here again and see you then. And for this Monday, be blessed. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you soon, okay? Bye-bye.